Hello, everyone. Hope you're doing well. And I'm sorry, I was editing a video that I just made and forgot about it's time to go on live. So we have Stephen here. Says hello, Mehran. Stephen, male 44, Los Angeles, Los Angeles. Stephen says, this is my weekend to work, so I'm back here tonight. I listened to your last live after work, and thank you for your thoughts on my question. Tonight, I'm on the floors of the hospital and haven't ran into any of my coworkers all night. I've been left with my thoughts and feel kind of down and lonely. Stephen says, for some reason, it's always when I am on my way to work, I begin thinking of the past, missing my dad and the way things were, feeling uncertain of my life and lonely. I'm scared to lose my mom also, and my pets that I love. It's a really worrying feeling that I have, and it's always on my way to work for some reason. I'm upset with myself also if I wasn't so bothered by that breakup, I wouldn't have been so quiet and to myself. I wish I would have appreciated that nurse that kept giving me attention in the ICU. Think that if, all right, yeah, think what if. All right, let's talk about Stephen's inquiry. So first things first, says, I always, when it's on my way to work, I begin thinking of the past. Well, one of the problems in our lives is we are usually in two time dimension that neither one exists, and we are trying to exist in a non-existent dimension. And we make sense of it because we have an ability of recording the events of the dimensions that no longer exist. And because we have recording of that dimension, which once was alive and actuality, even though it's no longer in existence, we keep visiting it. So we're visiting, while we're living, we're visiting something that is dead, which makes our lives, our living, in the death of the past. Or we are conjuring up things and worrying about things that it has not happened yet and may never happen. But we are living in that dimension, which is, both dimensions are not reality. The dimension, the past that doesn't exist, induces fear in us, worrying about things that happened and how we could have avoided it, which is a futile expression. Or somehow we're in a la la land and worrying about things that hasn't happened. So the first thing we got to do in this life, in order to be able to be more tranquil and less stress, is to focus on the things that we can change rather than things that are water under the bridge. So you saying that I begin thinking of the past, missing my dad, and the way things were, feeling, the way things were, feeling uncertain of my life and lonely. I'm scared to lose my mom also, and my dogs, my pets. Well, I often feel emotional when I think about losing my mother. But the only thing that helps me out are two things. One, the love that I have for my son, that I live for him, a big part of my life. And the other, the fact that I endured and accepted the death of my father, whom I loved so dearly, respect him so eternally, learn from him so much. Would have done almost anything just to see him again. But if with such feeling and emotions, I have been able to move on with such a loss, then I should be able to also endure, God forbid, the tragic happening of my mother passing. That has its own pain. But you always say, if I love my father so much, and for the love of life and the expectation of him of me, how to continue my life, and the love for my loved ones, for my son, which I'm a father as well, I was able to endure that pain and that happening, that stage and page of my life, then I should have learned something from that endurance and that reasoning, and I should employ the same reasons to be able to withstand such another tragic happening of losing another parent. So, Stephen, you cannot live in expectations. You cannot poison your life because your expectations, as legitimate and respectful, honorable as it is most of our expectations of life. We all want to be having good things and we are righteous and we expect fairness in this journey of life. That's not what this world is all about. Neither about fairness, nor about justice, nor about meeting our expectations. If we come to grasp with this, if we come to terms with this fact, we should be able to see the world as it is and not as heaven or a perfection dimension. And when you accept that it is not a perfect dimension, then you'll begin to understand, well, it's not my fault. It's on the universe, it's on the nature, it's on this life. It's their fault and shortcoming. And if I'm not at fault and I don't have the authority to change anything, then it is what it is. And I seem to be above it all, above the intelligence of nature or universe or the logic of this journey. And since I'm above it, I should look down upon the ones who are responsible for such outcomes as I lose my father, you lose your father, and the expectation, positive expectations don't come to fruition. So in short and philosophically putting all this, what I said, you simply say, fuck it. What can I do? Fuck it. Nothing in this world has been certain. You talk about certainty. Nothing in this world has been certain. To this day, I have not found any moment of certainty. And I've been able or have been forced to accept that certainty is not in the cards. I should change my view and expectations of this world to present to me certainty. Once I change that, the things that I'm looking at, the certainty, expectation of certainty, would change. Once I understand that this world is not the world of just or fairness, every day we see it. Nothing has been ever certain in this life for us since birth, and it never will be. And we should be proud of ourselves that we are a species that can swim in the ocean of uncertainty like a shark. And we've been successful to survive. From a million years ago, nothing has been certain, but we are here, which means we are bigger than uncertainty. So it doesn't matter if it's certain or not. We are bigger than uncertainty. We have proven it in a million years, ancestors, ourselves, and in the future. Why? No other choice exists than dealing with what it is dealt, which is uncertainty. We are expert. We think on our toes. We think on a dime, very quick. We make decisions. Only if our values and foresight is trained and good enough, we can handle anything. Do you think an aircraft pilot has certainty in there? But he's trained to use his knowledge to overcome the uncertainties that is on the way on his travel. Any moment, the weather pressure could change, air pressures could change, an object could show up on his path, many other turbulences and change in weather, everything else could happen. Engine failures, all that, everything uncertain. But we rely on our experience history of the mankind and its resilience and ability to deal with uncertainties. We have. And in our own case, we have since childhood, and we are even today. And we will for the future. Why we will? Because there's only one path. Go forward with life, and nothing has been certain and nothing will be certain. But we've done it before, our ancestor and ourselves done it, and we will continue doing it because that's our way. Because this is the way. It's from Mandalorian. Not my philosophy, but this is the way. We must prevail. We must be bigger than life. We must be bigger than uncertainty. And we have been, and we have it in us to continue being. Loneliness is on you. If you can't love yourself and be happy with yourself and have moments and things that you like to do, then you will be lonely. But if you can connect yourself with your environment, the things you like to create and do, those things that you do, you're involved with, you're enjoying with, even a cup of tea, big cup of tea, you won't be lonely. If you interpret loneliness as only, if you interpret not being lonely is only when you're with another human being, well, that is the possibility of more loneliness than ever, because that human being could at any time leave you or do something that you guys break up, or something happens which is not palatable to you or not palatable to her, and things go haywire. There is no certainty in that. You think if you're not lonely, there is certainty in that. There is no certainty whether you're with somebody else or not. Even things are more uncertain when you are in a relationship. Because if you're not in a relationship, you can pretty much sure as hell or heaven or whatever, you can count on your own balance, mood, expectations, plans, but you're not hanging on a thread of the effect of your partner is going to put on you by mistake, accidentally, inadvertently, however. So being by yourself is actually more certain to have a good happening, good results of the day, good certainty of whatever could await you, or better ability to handle things than being with somebody else, because that somebody else has a different consciousness, thinks differently, says things differently, acts differently, and all of that could rub you in the wrong way. So if you want to be tranquil, I choose being alone. There's trade-off being with someone and not being with someone. Companionship, warmth, intimacy, all good, but are two consciousnesses. You can't be completely compatible. There would be challenges. Those challenges, if they're benign, it's okay. But if it becomes toxic, that changes your whole expectations or whole dedication to that time to spending with each other, you better be alone. So don't knock the fact that you're alone. It's a powerful position to be alone. You're in control of almost everything. So enjoy being alone. It's a blessing in many cases until you find the right companion that you can grow together and not be at each other's nerves, and be careful in affecting each other positively, making utmost efforts to make each other feel elated. Open your wings and fly high, because somebody is actually soaring you up and cheering you up, rather than being careless in words or actions and causing you what could be construed of causing you to perceive his or her reactions or utterings and taking you out of the actual moment of life and put you in the world of perception, which many tangents in there and then could cause a lot more hardship, bring your ego into the picture and feel your image has been shattered by the comment that was made. And all that has a different tangents and stories. So you need to appreciate whatever situation you have at that moment. Don't call yourself alone. There's a beautiful power in being lonely by yourself. Everything seems to be clear. No misunderstanding, no hurt, no harshness. Everything will go smoothly as possible. And in your other portion of your question, so for some reason, okay, I always, okay. Ah, okay, and says, it's really worrying feeling that I have and always my way to work for some reason. Okay. And say, I'm upset with myself also, you say, if I wasn't so bothered by the last breakup, I wouldn't have been so quiet and into myself. I wish I would have appreciated that nurse that kept giving me attention in the ICU. Well, you're upset at yourself for too long. We're all human beings and we make mistakes. We may not even make mistakes. We could be in a relationship that relationship is not what you should be in a relationship. And often when it breaks up, it lets you know that it wasn't the right relationship for you. So you had a relationship that wasn't right for you. Why would you think that staying in a relationship that obviously wasn't right for you would have been right? So why are you upset at yourself? Why do you think that it's a one-way street and it was all your fault for things don't work out? Do you have to twist someone's arm to stay with you? If she can't appreciate you, or vice versa, what's there to miss if it's not working? Yeah, you're used to that girl and then you miss her and so on. But the question is, why is it that she didn't miss you? And you may come back and say, well, she did, but I didn't take her out. Doesn't matter. Obviously, she was able to move on, but you're hanging around for what? Because of your need, not because of her qualifications. So remember that. You're still looking at her with the eye of the need, and you still have the same needs. You want to cuddle, you want to text, you want to interact, you want to be intimate, you want to have companion. Yeah, fair enough. When it happens, it happens. And when it happens and then it doesn't work and pisses you off and things are not really as you would expect to enhance your balance and your happiness, then it's time to call her off. What do you want to make out of it? You want to force her to change herself? That's not fair. She can't do it. People are not crazy. They're just looking after themselves. They say what makes them comfortable. And those things that they may say that it makes them comfortable, it might not be comfortable to you. And that means there are differences. And you can't be going on and constantly trying to endure each other. It's not comfortable for her. It's not comfortable for you. So you got to let it go. And that's the story of life. Why would you want to bring so much tension to yourself just because you want to have a companion? You want to have a girlfriend? To what cost? Your sanity? Your ups and downs? How many times? So you need to be fair to yourself and to her. Whether it was your fault, her fault, doesn't matter. That's not what I'm talking about. It's a fact, if not fair and comfortable for both of you, wish each other well. You're angry because you think you had a good thing going. You didn't. You know she was a bitch, deceitful, dishonest, unfaithful. So you're only focusing on what you needed rather than what kind of quality was coming into your life. Even two people could be very suitable in many ways for each other, but still maybe at each other's nerve or doesn't give that kind of psychological security to each other to feel comfortable around each other and have that certain kind of a emotional certainty and a calming effect on each other and feeling secure in the presence of each other psychologically, psychological security. If that's not there, it doesn't matter what else is there. Sex, companionship, none of that matters. It's all about how you feel in that relationship. And both of you could be wonderful people. That is not my intention to say one is bad or one is good. It's just that consciousnesses are different, expectations are different, interactions and actions are different. Now, be kind to yourself and move on. And next time, if some girl in ICU says hello or pursue you, enjoy it. Don't keep thinking about being in a dimension that doesn't exist either way. All right, let's see what Easy to Read has to say. Easy to Read says the happiest relationship are ones where the woman is 2 to 5 years older than man, older, and this is the only type of relationship I would ever want to be in. Ah, okay. Who is this? This is where are you? Ah, John, 22 from Canada. All right, we're in Canada. Okay. Now you guys are sending me a laundry list of questions. All right, and it says I have no idea why society tries to discourage these ones because they are the best and they eliminate all the issues that come with male senior relationships. Male senior relationships. I'm not sure if you want a big sister or you want a girlfriend. Why does she have to be older than you? Namely, when the man is older, the woman immediately shorts to get attached to him as another father figure. It's an it's an innate thing, and they're always prone to arguments. Also, I hate that the society discourages the other kind while you see all these creepy relationships like bosses dating their female employees and male partners who are over a decade older. And then guys like me get discouraged for wanting an older partner. Why? And then there is the questionable ones like when bosses date their female employees or the man is over a decade older gets so tired of seeing this. I forget. It's okay. Last part you're not making sense. I'm not really getting the question. Is there a question in there? Easy to Read says, and I'm very devastated about something. Yeah, okay. Mine is also something to do with a nurse. All right, okay. Why don't you guys who are into nurses talk to each other? Leave me alone here. What the hell are you talking about? And we have Cristiano Ronaldo. He says, hello, Meron sir. Hello, Cristiano. He says, hello, master. Hello there. Says, Meron sir, I have question. Does getting busy in life lead to OCD dying as now I feel very good as I stop caring about the recovery? and thoughts, and learned how to ride the bike and get busy in study, yeah, for sure. Being busy gives direction to your mind, and your mind is not interested in wasting time about things that really don't matter. And they have no effect on you other than just making you feel, interpret, and play along with the garbage that the brain puts out. So I have a question, Master, how I can build my confidence in every situation, especially in front of woman. Well, understand that when you're in front of the woman, you're not focusing on her qualification, you're focusing on what she can do for you and how pleasurable it is to be intimate with her. And for that need, you think you got to entertain her or impress her. Just impress yourself in the world, in life, by accomplishing yourself in your job, studies, whatever it is. Eventually, you get to the point that you feel, oh, I'm accomplished, I know something. And that gives you the confidence that you have finished your studies or you are successful in the career you've picked, you've chosen, and you're enjoying making money and living. And that confidence will make it easier for you when you are interacting with a woman because you want something from her, especially if she's pretty, and you want her to give it to you, to accept you as someone to associate with. But when you have accomplished something or finished your studies and you feel good about yourself, you feel inwardly that you have something to offer. Therefore, when you're sitting there, you're sitting in your mind as an equal armament, so to speak, equal qualifications. Because you see her as beauty and you want that beauty and sexuality and intimacy. Therefore, you believe she has something to offer because it's her physical attribute. But you need to also feel that you have something to offer. And that would be by accomplishing your life and yourself. Then that feeling is there, and therefore your interaction with her would be with more confidence because you're also having something to offer, and you know that. It's not just one-way street. And Christina says, sometimes I feel why I got OCD for 5 months and all, but then I see people with bigger sufferings. You know, having OCD is an opportunity. It's not a suffering. It's a suffering, but it's an opportunity for you to be bigger and stronger and wiser about your own inner movement of the psyche. And that's very important opportunity. If you can understand it and deal with it, you'll be far ahead in understanding your psyche than people who don't have OCD. And people usually who have OCD are usually more intelligent than the ones who don't. It's proven. And afterwards, you become stronger in everywhere and you're more capable to manage things and manage challenges and so on. It's like a training session. So don't you worry about it. Dimitri says 30 male, Melbourne. I asked the question last time. Oh, okay. Let's see. I don't know what was last time, but let's look at it now. Says I asked a question last time, but I think YouTube didn't show it because I said the word sex. Yeah, YouTube hardly lets people know I'm alive. I mean, I'm live, let alone anything else they want to say in it. And Dimitri says, my question, Mehran, was how come I have never had better sex than the one I had with my first ever girlfriend? Is there some kind of a connection you think men have with their first ever GF? Would you ever forget the first time that you mounted a horse, like you went on a horse, or You went on a merry-go-round, or you had ice cream, or you got an A in your elementary school. Do you think you'd ever forget about anything that you've done in the first time, and it's pleasant, and it's positive? It is a big deal to have sex for a young man who has never had it before. It is impossible to forget it. And everything is so new, so fresh, so novel, so amazing. The whole new world opens up to you. All the things that you imagined, it is in reality. There's a woman that is laying beside you, giving her body to you, which is your wish and your fantasy, all your youth. And now it's happening. The adrenaline, the excitement of it is so much that it leaves a great impression on you. Later on, you may have even better sex, but because you've never had that food ever before, the ice cream or food or sex, to you, that seems to be most memorable. Not necessarily the best, but most memorable. So that's all. But as you grow and you have more experiences, then it is as exciting still, but it is not as memorable as the very first time. Even though you may not remember it, you may not remember it all the time at all. But if you think about it, the excitement that was there for the first time you were doing something is what makes you think it was the best sex, but it actually wasn't. It probably was the worst sex you've ever had. And later on, you'll find women that you'll have the greatest sex ever. But the excitement of being new is never there as it was in the first time. And that's what you remember, the excitement, not that the sex was good. All right. And Christiana says, Meran, my second question is I'm chilling, but after, let's say, an hour, I would be, oh, I had HOCD, then an image shows up. Yeah, it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Still, an image could show up to me now. But before, when the image would show up and you didn't know about HOCD, you'd get annoyed and angry. But now, if it shows up, you know what it is. So say, okay, yeah, thoughts can exist. It's not me. It's got nothing to do with me. It's the brain. And brain is like, I have a television set and there's thousands and thousands of television stations sending, broadcasting programs and movies. And my television set receives it, but has nothing to do with my television set. It's not producing it. It's not my television set that producing these programs or images. It has the ability to receive what's out there. So the brain is too, it receives all that information from out there, and the brain puts it on the screen of your head. It's got nothing to do with you. You have the ability to receive and see all these images that is being floating around throughout the airwaves, and your brain has the ability to receive it or create something out of all these inventory of data and puts it on the screen. Irrelevant to you. When you understand that, say, okay, thoughts can exist, but it doesn't bother me. It's a thought. Whatever it is, it's a thought. So there's no power whatsoever. So no qualms about it. And movie first says, hello, Meran, myself to buy. And from India, all right? All right. So, what else we have here? And he says, 29 years old from India. Says HOCD issue, very disturbed when I'm going to sleep. Also, very anxiety from my past memories. Yeah, okay. But I've got over 672 videos on HOCD on my channel. You can look at the title. Just put in HOCD or go on the uh, playlist pertaining HOCD or OCD or intrusive thoughts, and you'll see a number of them there. And look at the title, see which one pertains to your question, or and then watch it. And it's not a big deal. You learn what it is, and you'll be able to manage it, understand how the brain works, and then you'll get over it. It's got nothing personal to you. It's the glitch of the brain, not you. And Christiana says, what should we do about mental images popping? I've explained that in the videos, Christiana, the images and all these things. All should be accepted as what the brain produces. But it's irrelevant to you because it's still a thought, image, suggestion. You live by your vetoes and choices, not by suggestion or thoughts or images of the brain. It's annoying, but it's irrelevant to you. All right. Oh, Kosar is here. He says, I have a question, Master. How can I build my confidence? Oh, we talked about that. All right. Okay, good. And I don't understand what you're saying. We have a super chat from Dimitris. Says, I have watched all your videos on HOCD. You couldn't have. Thank you for your super chat, but you couldn't have. It's 672 videos. Don't tell me you've watched all of them. And OCD in general. This is something very small in comparison to the valuable videos you have given us. Thanks, Mira. Oh, you're quite welcome. But there's so many videos out there that I don't even remember the things I've said. And I have to say, some of them are really brilliant. And I'm unanimous on that. And sometimes when I watch them again, I say, holy mackerel, what was I on to be able to understand this so well or describe it so well? So thank you for your kind support for the channel. And Tumorman says, my wife left me after I got sick. Well, that means that's not a woman you want to be spending the rest of your life with, because she obviously jumped ships whenever storm hits the ocean. So gotta be happy, jubilant. Well, how old are you, Tumor? It would be good if every time you guys put a question in, remind me of your gender, age, and where you're tuning in from, rather than I look for it up and down, scrolling up and down. Tumorman, I did explain that I can build your confidence. Are you talking about how you build your confidence after your wife has left? Your wife was not your confidence. That's the problem. You think your wife was your confidence, and therefore now my wife is left, so my confidence is left. So how can I get my confidence back? Because my confidence was with my wife, and she is left. That's the problem. Your confidence never was with your wife. Your confidence was with your mentality, what you had accomplished, how you are, how you behave, how you interact, how you treat. And it hasn't gone anywhere. It's still there. It cannot go anywhere. It's part of you. So your confidence doesn't belong to anybody but you, and it can't go. But that's your mentality, and they should change that. Kosa says, thanks, Kosa, you're welcome. And Shahir Hasnat says, looking big, Grandpa. Thank you. It's the lens, probably. I actually haven't trained for the past 3 weeks, if not 4. I injured my shoulder by being a little bit stupid, cocky. And since then, I've been feeling not so strong to continue. So I've been taking a break until I deal with that. And Christiana says, I 100% agree with Dimitris. You are the only reason how I got out of HOCD, fear, and anxiety. My pleasure. Thank you very much for the kind words, guys. Very kind of you. And I'm delighted that you guys were able to enjoy. I just wonder why not more people get to see my channel and be a subscriber. I think my channel is not circulating. YouTube, I don't know, somehow perhaps doesn't like what we talk about here. So, looks like we have caught up with all the questions. So why don't I give you guys a moment of rest and I warm up my tea and be right back. How about that? Acceptable? Subscribe on my channel, visit my channel, and go through the videos that you might be interested in. Mind@seekstruth.com is making it one step away to talk to me one-on-one on Skype and discuss what's concerning you. I'll talk to you soon. But we too, like the iceberg, have 1,000 times bigger powers that is not visible, and we must. Why? Is it something we're rambling on and I expect you to accept it? Or is there actually another power within us? Would you come and help me out? Okay. What I want you to do is put your hands underneath my arms and just lift me up. There we go. Okay, now, that's my physical part, right? Same thing. Again, with that. Just want to see if there's any difference. Go ahead. Now, go ahead. Now, this, go ahead, when you're ready.
Go ahead.
So you see, this is different than what he was doing, and I'm not really doing anything. You convinced?
Yeah.
So are you guys convinced that there is something other than, thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you very much. Christiana says there is so much bullshit on internet related to OCD, HOCD, and people are watching those videos in mass numbers. Yeah. I wonder why is it, maybe, I mean, if it would have made a difference, I would have changed the name of channel, separate the OCD videos and HOCD videos from the relationship videos. But when they look at my channel, the 1 point, even in the tags, OCD and HOCD and breakups, all that is mentioned, but somehow I guess people don't see the tags, or when they search for OCD or HOCD, and if mine shows up as the one point, they won't look at that because the name is not representation of what they're looking for. So, by the way, on Rumble, I'm dumping all these on Rumble. But in Rumble, I have two separate channels, one for OCD and OCD subsets, including HOCD, one for relationship and breakups. So it's separated there. That could be helpful. Here, I don't know, I might do the same and see how that happens. But I would have expected to have a couple of million subscribers for the relationship channel and topics and the OCD and HOCD topics, but it's not in the cards. And Dimitri says HOCD has been a bitch to get over. Yeah, I know. It has paused my life almost completely. And USACR, oh, that's a different person. Yeah, but you know, Dimitris, it's not about getting over, it's about understanding and realizing that this is something's happening in the brain, not in you. And the brain is an apparatus that was added to you only 40,000 years ago while you were surviving for a million years before that. So we are not the brain. Brain is not us. We are us, awareness, and we lived instinctively without the interpretation or interference of this brain ability to talk or speak or think. None of it was there. And as long as we didn't have that before 40,000 years ago, there was no OCD. There was no HOC. There was no nothing. Everything was instinctive because there was no thinking ability. There was no words or speaking ability. Words didn't have meaning, much less misunderstanding between the very one person, their brain and themselves, or misunderstanding between each other. Very limited words, and words didn't hurt because there were no words. So thoughts are the roots of all problems. So once you understand that, and then commit to the experts' findings of steps to teach the brain how to revert back to the default setting and how to behave as it was designed rather than going haywire and out of excitement to protect you, exaggerate on things that it comes to its mind and images and trying to dump it all there for you to protect yourself. It's gone haywire. And also there's a glitches in the brain, such as in amygdala, midbrain basal ganglia, caudate nucleus. All these are the glitches responsible for this whole OCD business. That's why you need to take things like 4 steps of Dr. Schwartz for OCD and intrusive thoughts, or the ERP or CBT. These procedures help the brain to be retrained, rewired. And it needs patience and understanding that this is not you, it's the brain. Brain is not you, you're not the brain. So you need to be okay with whatever the brain puts out because it's the brain, it's irrelevant to you. But because the brain is yours, it's mounted on top of your head, you think if it thinks of something, it's pertaining to you. It must mean something to you. And it doesn't. It's the brain. And you need to help the brain, not to think that what brain says is you. It's not. And Demetrius says, USSCR, apart from Mehran's amazing channel, another one that has helped me is the channel called, they call me Jesse. Yeah, Jesse is a good boy. Jesse is a good man. He has a good channel. And I used to we used to cross path, and he's a very good-hearted man, and his videos are also good. And I enjoyed one of his catchphrases that I always use and give the credit to him. When someone asks me, "Oh, Mehran, I don't know, I have OCD, HOCD, and I don't know why I don't have, I don't get arousal, or when I'm with my girlfriend, I don't have the kind of arousal I used to have." And Jesse has put it very, very well, and I use that many times. He explains it very clearly that, look, you're dealing with HOCD and you're wondering about your arousal. It's the same as saying that you're in the in a pond and you just notice that a crocodile is right up your ass, has opened the jaws and coming at you, trying about to bite your ass off and half you off, and you die. And while you're frantically swimming and going to get to the shore, you say, "Why am I not having an erection?" Because you're frantically trying to save your life. It's no atmosphere of relaxation to focus on what it is that you want to focus as erection. So the same thing, when you're dealing with this and thinking that it's such a ferocious thing that you're trying to avoid or deal with or manage, then at the same time you say, "Oh, well, why don't I have erection?" Because your focus has gone somewhere that if you take your focus away from it and be able to go through the ERP and CBT or the um, 4 steps of Dr. Schwartz and whatnot, and deal with that and understand that brain is not you, you're not the brain. So these are thoughts, and thoughts can exist. They have no danger to you whatsoever. So they can think as much as they want or images as many as they want. It's irrelevant to you. Then you'd be able to focus on what is it that you want to focus. Otherwise, of course, you'd be you'd be distracted, and that wouldn't be the priority. Your priority would be to save yourself. That's how he would look at it. Hmm. Rian21 says, "Hey, sir, can OCD be gone for some years and then come back?" Well, who cares? You could have OCD every day, but it doesn't matter. What matters is that how you think about it and how you see it, then it doesn't affect you. Whether it goes away, never comes back, comes back. Your happiness and your control and you who you are, it's not depending on if OCD is there or not there. OCD can be there anytime he wants. I don't give a shit because I've understood the jig is up, what it is. So it's irrelevant to me. So, but learn how to deal with it so you retrain it, how to behave the brain so it won't be falling to that trap. Yes, Cristiano, that's correct. Oh yeah, Dream 21. Yes, of course, of course, of course. That's makes no difference. One time, two time, three time, four times. It's always OCD or HOCD. Makes no difference. It has no relevance to you, no matter how many times it shows up. And Philip Burcher or Bourger, it says, "Hi, I broke up with my ex 2 years ago, and recently we bond together again, wanting to start friendship. She moved on, but I don't know if I did. I want to be friends also, but I don't know if I just want to be close again or something more. I get sad when I realize I don't mean to her as much as before, even she means so much to me now. First of all, why does it matter that you mean so much to her? Who is she? Is she the Mother Teresa? Like she feeds the children or the elderly? She cures common cold, or she protects children? What is she all about that is so devastating if you don't mean as much to her as before? So, who is she? What has she accomplished in this life that she's such a end all be all? Why is she so important? What's her importance? Your ego wants to be fulfilled by having her for whatever reason, lack of confidence. You think one woman decides your confidence for your happiness or your accomplishment? What does she offer? How old are you? Don't you guys remember you're supposed to let me know how old you are and where you are from? So I come back to you when I know that information. I want to embrace our friendship, but I'm also afraid I will regret what? I will regret it. Why would you? How can one be friend with X? Don't be friend with X. You always want to get to her into her pants, and you'll never be able to be friends. And she has you on the leash because you want her, but she just want to use you as someone who is fluffing her up, giving her confidence so she can easily interact with the other boys. I don't know how old you guys are, but obviously you should be very young. And I need to know that before I can continue. Breen says when we are not in the state of HOCD and can live happily, do we still have OCD? I don't know what that means. It's not a disease, it's a disorder, it's not a virus. So you have an experience that you had OCD, but you've managed to deal with it, doesn't bother you anymore. So that's all it matters. Doesn't matter if I still have it or you may still have it. I had OCD since I was a child, all kinds of OCD. Responsibility OCD, touching the light switch OCD, washing hands OCD, making noise out of myself OCD, looking around, checking the oven, locking the door 10 million times. I had all of these intrusive thoughts later on in life. But once you understand what OCD is and the brain's glitch, then it doesn't matter. You will deal with it and you'll get over it as best as you can. And if it does attack you again, so you know what to do. You don't freak out. You know what it is. So you do the same trick and you help your brain to rewire itself. That's how you do it. It's not like, do I still have it? I feel I'm not perfect until I'm sure I will. That's OCD. That's thinking is OCD. OCD is not a bad thing to say, oh my goodness, I have OCD, so I'm sick. No. You learn from these situations and conditions, and you become a stronger human being, stronger psyche. You are able to handle things that even if it comes to you, you already know what it is, you know how to handle it, and that's the ticket of life, you know? Hmm. Philip says, I'm 22. We were together from 16 years old. grew up together, so it was hard for me to move on. Of course, especially in that age, and probably your first sex was with her, and to you, she was the woman of your life. At that age, you feel manly when you have a girlfriend. All that is no longer there. You just have a memory of it, that how important that was. But as you grow up, another few years, you'll meet other girls. You say, holy macaroni. At age 16, I hardly knew who I was, let alone what kind of a girl I want. And she didn't even know either. But you at that age were, compatible and you enjoyed each other, but definitely that's not the one you're going to be spending the rest of your life with. Just ludicrous. You hardly know who you are, even now, let alone knowing, oh, that's the girl I want. Why? Just basically because your desire for intimacy and memory. Now, cut the cord and go and meet other girls and enjoy and learn and grow up, and you'll have experiences. Then you'll know more about yourself. Then you'll know what kind of woman you want. And then you act on that. Yeah, sure, Philip. That's normal. But just because something is normal doesn't mean it has to be eternal. Just move on. It's a page of your life. 16, that was your girlfriend. Okay. Now don't be friends because you want to get into her pants again. I know that's what you want. You want to get back to the same comfort zone that you had. No, it's all right. You want to be friends with her, but don't be stuck on her that, oh, I got to be with her. And then you start falling in love again because she's going to be acting herself and she doesn't need to be intimate and she's going to go out with other boys or whatnot. And then you're going to be feel jealous and you're going to put yourself in some situation that you shouldn't. Good, Cristiano. Don't worry about it. It's all part of the learning process. There you go. Okay, guys, I've answered all the questions as much as possibly could. And it's now over 1 hour, so it's time for me to say, I love you all. Thank you very much for being here, giving me the opportunity to share a thing or two with you. I look forward to our next live stream. In the meantime, be good to yourself and to the others. I'll talk to you soon. Bye for now. Subscribe on my channel, visit my channel, and go through the videos that you might be interested in. Mind@seekstruth.com is making it one step away to talk to me one-on-one on Skype and discuss what's concerning you. I'll talk to you soon.